So for this, we have Wolfric lived in Portugal and Brazil for a total period of 14 months in order to learn Portuguese. He learned an average of 130 new words per month when he lived in Portugal, and an average of 150 new words per month when he lived in Brazil. In total, he learned 1920 new words, or 1,920. So, how long did he live in Portugal, and how long did he live in Brazil? So, let's go to our answers here to figure out what we should find as the variables. So, he lived in Portugal for blank months. So, maybe we can say P is the months in Portugal. Let me use a capital P for that. And we also have that he lived in Brazil for blank months. So maybe we can say B is the months in Brazil. Now, the first equation comes from this piece of information up here that he lived in both of them for a total of 14 months, which means that the months in Portugal plus the months in Brazil would be 14. So we can set that up pretty quickly. So P plus B is 14. So we got one equation. Now we need to figure out the other one. And the other one will be a little bit more challenging. So we know the total words learned would be 1920. So let's write that down. Total words equals 1920. And for Portugal, let me change colors here. For Portugal, he's learning 130 new words per month. So we can say 130 words per month. So the total amount of words in Portugal, we can say the total in Portugal, well, it's 130 words per month, but if we multiplied that by the number of months he was staying in Portugal, then that would give us the total amount of words in Portugal. So this would be 130 times by P. And so to make sense of this, if he lived there for 3 months and 130 words per month, you would multiply by 3, and that would be 390 words. So we'll do the same idea, but this time for Brazil. So in Brazil, it's 150 words per month. And so the total words in Brazil would just be the 150 times B. Because again, every month is 150 and B is just how many months he lived there. So if he lived there for, say, 6 months, then you'd have 6 times 150, which would be 900. So 900 words there. But we don't know what B and P are yet. We need to figure that out. And we know the total words is 1920, and this would be equal to the total from Portugal plus the total from Brazil. And we figured out expressions for each of those. The total from Portugal is 130p, and the total from Brazil is 150b. So we can rewrite this equation as 1920 is the total from Portugal, which is that 130p, plus the total from Brazil, which is the 150b. So we have our second equation. And before I highlight this one and we can start solving our system, notice that everything is a multiple of 10. So if you just divide everything by 10, your numbers would get simpler. And this is just a good thing to check for anytime you can, because simpler numbers are easier to work with. And we know our other equation is just P plus B is 14, which we can solve for. I'll solve for, let's say, B here, and that would be 14 minus P. So anywhere I see a B, I'm going to replace it with this entire expression. So let's rewrite that. You have 192 is 13p plus 15 times b, but that's now 14 minus p. Let me scroll down a bit more, make some more room here. And we have 192. We'll distribute now. So the 15 goes into both of those. We have 13p plus 10 times 14 would be 140. 5 times 14 would be 50, plus 20, which is 70. So we have 140 plus 70, which is 210. And we have minus 15p. Could also think that 15 squared is 225, and you can subtract 15 from that to get your 210. Now let's simplify. So I'm going to subtract 210 on each side, and I'll combine these like terms, the 13p minus 15p. So the difference in this, it would be minus 18, and that's equal to minus 2p. So divide by negative 2, and p is 9. So it looks like 9 months are spent in Portugal, and if we use this equation here, or this one here, the months in Brazil would be 14 minus 9, which is 5. That means B is 5. But let's make sense of this with the other information. So let's put this in the box up here. So actually I need to scroll back over. We need all of that. So we found out in Portugal that that's 9 months, and in Brazil for 5 months. But let's check this. So he learned 130 words per month in Portugal. So we can do 130 times 9. That would be 900 plus 270, which would be 1170. And then for Brazil, so that was for Portugal. For Brazil, he learned 150 words per month, but he was there for 5 months, so times 5, so that's 750 words. And if we add these together, 1170 plus 750, we should get 1920. So that's 0, 2, carry out the 1, we get a 9, and the 1 goes down. So it worked. Our numbers did make sense. We checked it with the information. And I have to stress how important it is to check these, because these problems are very difficult. It's very easy to make a mistake somewhere. And so at the end, once you do get answers, just so that you can avoid redoing the exercise multiple times, you want to check your work. You want to go slowly and be precise and be patient with yourself with these. Because like I said, these are some of the more difficult problems that you'll see in all of algebra, or algebra 1, I should say.